It's been a while since I've done one of these videos. You know what though? I can't keep up with the amount of fragrances that are launching. What do you guys think? But in this video, I'm going to talk to you about 18 fragrances that are soon to launch. But you know what? I have to say, since I'm behind, a lot of these have already launched, and I actually got to sample many of them recently on my travels. And then there's a few bonus options as well that I'm going to talk to you about from one brand. So find out about these latest fragrances coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian. I'm talking about new fragrances on the horizon. Do let me know what you're looking forward to that you have just heard about that is soon to launch, or anything that you got your nose on recently that's brand spanking new. So let's get this started. We've got a lot of fragrances with a lot of notes in them. The first fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is from the Italian fashion house, small fashion house of Costume National, and they have a fragrance called THRU, C as in S-E-A. So obviously when they use the word sea, it's going to be a marine fragrance. It's created by Celine Barel. She recently did Spice di Arno for Electimus, but this has notes of marine notes, cypress, benzoin, bitter orange, grapefruit, lemons, neroli, ambergris, and oak moss. You know, I'm starting to slowly enjoy this style, but also the lack of cologne makes it a lot more enjoyable. It's this note that they used to use a lot of in fragrances that really turned my stomach. This one's actually pleasant. I'd like to circle back to it. Moving on to the house of Francesca Bianchi. She has a new oud. Another oud, but this time it's called Voluptuous Oud, and it's an oud-focused fragrance. It's featuring notes of oud, Tolu balsam, plums, leather, vetiver, caramel, heliotrope, bergamot, and mandarin. So I also have sampled this particular fragrance, and I enjoyed it. This is the second oud that Francesca Bianchi has launched. This is more of an oud. The previous one was less oud. So hopefully I will speak about this one again, or not again, but further in the coming weeks and months. But moving on to a third fragrance, CHABAUD has a new fragrance in their milky series of gourmands. This one's called Mon Tiramisu. I also was able to sample this one, and it's a super delicious gourmand, guys. Whipped cream, sandalwood, vanilla, chocolate, coffee, pastry, coconut, and musk. You know, it was not necessarily reminding me too much of a tiramisu, but it was actually really delicious. And for me, tiramisu is one of my least favorite desserts, and I'm a sweet dessert lover. But the fragrance itself was super fantastic. So we'll be speaking about that coming weeks and months. The next fragrance is Tom Ford's Amber Intrigue. This is a fragrance I actually have blind bought from Harrods. It's created by Pascal Gaurin and Julien Rasquinet, and it's an amber fragrance. It's amber, labdanum, frankincense, sandalwood, dates, cinnamon, Haitian vetiver. We'll report on it soon. It's actually featured in my haul video. I bought this blind, and I'll let you know about it further. Probably a full review of the fragrance. It's still a toss-up for me if I love it. I was never a big fan of Amber Absolute from Tom Ford, and there's a lot of like dark, not very... I'm not going to say much about it. It just seems a bit like Amber Absolute, but it's not as exciting as I wanted it to be. But we'll be reporting on it. But if you've sampled any of the fragrances I've spoken about so far, do let me know what you think about it. Put a comment down below. I don't highlight a lot of feminine fragrances, but sometimes something catches my eye, like this next fragrance from the house of Nina Ricci, Venus. The bottle is super gorgeous, so I wanted to look into it. Sadly, I wasn't able to buy a bottle, but hopefully I can get my nose on it. In fact, if I see one, I'll buy one. But it's Nina Ricci Venus, created by 3 perfumers, Nathalie, Lorson, Olivier, Cresp, and Alexandra Monet, featuring notes of vanilla, magnolia, and patchouli. Sounds delicious, right? Always love vanilla and patchouli together. They really do play well together. The fact that they have a magnolia note in it, we will definitely want to be getting my nose on this one. So stay tuned, but if you've gotten your nose on it, let me know. But the next fragrance I sampled during Petit Fragranza recently, it's Laboratorio Olfattivo's Oud in White, and this one is created by Julien Rasquinet. I did enjoy this one. I like the name Oud in White, and it matched that whole idea of white oud or oud in white. But this features notes of Cambodian oud, sandalwood, cedar, osmanthus, jasmine, sambac, labdanum, pears, raspberry, and ginger. It didn't smell like Moon or the Moon from Frederick Malle, even though they're created by the same perfumers. Well, this is at least on my samples during the show. Maybe if I sample it on its own, maybe it might, but I enjoyed it and had a very appropriate name, Oud in White. So I'll most likely be speaking about this fragrance coming down the line here as well. The next fragrance from a designer, men's designer fragrance, Brioni EDP Suave. I really love this collection of men's fragrances. It's one of the best series for men's designer fragrances. If you haven't gotten your nose on any of them, please do. But I'm looking forward to get my nose on Brioni EDP Suave or Eau de Parfum Suave. It's created by 3 perfumers, Michel Almerac, Romain Almerac, Jérôme Epinay. So Romain Almerac obviously is the son of Michel Almerac. So I think Michel Almerac is keeping his family in the perfume business. His other son, Benjamin Almerac, runs the brand Parlez-moi de Parfum, which Michel Almerac creates the fragrances for. So now Romain Almerac is doing perfumes as well. So Jérôme Epinay, all 3 of the perfumers are with Robertet. This features notes of pink pepper, leather, amber, cardamom, vetiver, sandalwood, and mandarin. Really love this series. I'm hoping this is great. Seems like a leather fragrance. We shall see how it is. If you've gotten your nose on it, do let me know. Put a comment down below. Alright, up next, going to the House of Sospiro, and it looks like we've got another winner on our hands after Maraschino and the one Traviata something that came up after that. Maraschino was okay. The Traviata was kind of a boring one, but Dolce Sonata, during the show I went to, the perfume show or the duty-free show in the south of France, I was actually looking for a brand to visit, but I smelled somebody that actually I had met before, and they were wearing this most amazing fragrance. Turned out it was Dolce Sonata. It was leaving the most amazing trail, and sure enough, it's a delicious fragrance, and I'll definitely be speaking about it soon, but this is Dolce Sonata by Sospiro. I think it doesn't beat Dolce Melodia, but it comes close. But this has notes of cotton candy, raspberry, osmanthus, apricots, incense, lily of the valley, lime, bergamot, oranges, rose, jasmine, and patchouli. For me, it's like a cross between Fenty perfume and something by Raja Parfums. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Fenty. I absolutely love that fragrance. This has the Fenty vibes with a little bit of something like one of the discontinued country fragrances from Raja Parfums. It's actually really good. I'll speak about it soon, hopefully. But moving on to 3 fragrances from the house of Born to Stand Out. I actually did a video with June, the owner of the brand. If you haven't caught that video, go catch it. But they have 3 new fragrances that are on the animalic side. First of which is L'Animal. It's created by Cécile Matan. Rum, nutmeg oil, almond paste, suede, heliotrope, mugain, gaiac wood oil, dirty honey, sandalwood, and vanilla. And apparently these are, it's got animal, the word animal. And this was my 2nd or 3rd flavor, and I can't remember. I need to smell them again. But if you catch the video with June, he'll explain all about the fragrances. My favorite for sure is the next one, Filthy Musk. Absolutely love it. And it's created by a flair perfumer, Margot Lepage-Gaurin. She's done Janny. But this has some dirty touches, animalic touches. It's called Filthy Musk. But it also has fruity, sweet, gourmand touches as well. It's pineapple, honey, animalic musk, patchouli, nutmeg, jasmine, vanilla, caramel, ambroxan, ambergris, tonka, rum, and civet. Filthy Musk, super delicious. If you love musky fragrances, you've got to get your nose on it on this one. It's a sweet animalic musk. So delicious, though. And then finally, the 3rd fragrance in the trio of musky animalic fragrances from BTSO or Born to Stand Out is called Naked Laundry. This is mandarin orange aldehydes, tonka beans, ambronol, scatol, mimosa, white caramel, honey, zaffril, tonkatone, sensual milk, ambery woods. So I think this was my 3rd or 2nd favorite, I can't remember, but the idea of this fragrance was apparently you check into a hotel, get into a clean bed, and after you do your thing, what it smells like in the sheets. That's what this fragrance was all about from what I remember. So 3 fragrances from Born to Stand Out, animalic ideas of fragrances. Let me know if you're familiar with them, if you've sampled them, which one sounds great to you. Now moving on to the House of Tower Perfumes, he's got a new fragrance called THRU. Sampled it at Petit Fragranza, where I got to see Andy Tower as well after many, many years. He used to travel to San Francisco quite a bit for perfume store visits, but he hasn't for a while. So this is not your typical Tower perfumes. Those of you that are Tower perfume lovers might not dig this one. I love gourmand, so I enjoyed it. So the thing is with this one also, it does have the Tower oud, the DNA, but with a lot of cocoa. So it's cocoa, ambergris, there's dates, vanilla, white flowers, woods, cedar, and musk. I enjoyed it. I want to come back to it and see how it is on skin and things like that, but I kept going back to this fragrance several times during Petit Fragranza, where the Andy Tower and Tower Perfumes was, displaying fragrances there. Now this next one I posted about on this, and I've posted about, quite a bit about these on Instagram, but this next one I think people are really looking forward to this. It's Essential Parfums Bois Imperial Extrait, Quinton Biche created fragrance. It's an extrait, the parfum version of the original Bois Imperial. I think it's really good. It's really highly concentrated. Doesn't smell the same, but then it does. Like, it acts differently, but smells somewhat similar to the original. This will be a hit. It's a concentrated take on the original, not identical. So if you're looking forward to something smelling the same, just stronger, it's not going to be that. But this is cedar, fir balsam, labdanum, leather, black and Sichuan pepper with rose. Rose is kind of faint, not too strong, but it's definitely acts thick. You will experience the denseness of the fragrance in comparison to the EDP. This will be popular. It'll be launching in a 30 ml only. Extrait de Parfum, I believe it's 30% concentration also from what I remember, but this is going to be a hit. But moving on to the house of Tamine, it's Center Stage. Once again, another fragrance created by Bruno Jovanovic. This, I'd like to get my nose on. It's amber wood, animalic notes, styrax, jasmine, orris, orange blossom, cardamom, lavender, and petitgrain. Animalic notes seem to be coming up quite a bit. You know, I do enjoy animalic notes. I don't know if you guys do as well. It has to be the right balance, not an overdose of animalics. I do enjoy animalics entering in fragrances, so it can kind of balance out a little too much of one or two things in there. So that's what I like about animalic notes. Maybe amp it up a little bit. So we'll see how Tamine's Center Stage is. And of course, all of the BTSO fragrances that are on the animalic side as well. I enjoyed them. Let me know if you're a fan of animalics as well. So the next fragrance, Liquid Imaginaire's Lunatique. I got to sample this really quickly. I enjoyed what I smelled, and this brand launches some really amazing fragrances, and I want to kind of circle back to this as well. This is created by Vincent Ricord. It's blackcurrant, sandalwood, juniper, Sichuan pepper, frankincense, tonka, leather, musk, cyclamen, marigold, iris oud, pear, pink pepper. A lot of stuff going on in here. It wasn't a fragrance that was like a wow right away, so maybe this might have to kind of be played around with to see if you're going to end up liking it, but I liked what I smelled. But the next fragrance was a delicious gourmand that I also got to sample during my travels. It's Etat Libre d'Orange's Story of Your Life. Super delicious gourmand, and also created by Jerome de Marino, who I've been speaking quite a bit about, especially with the fragrances of Une Nuit Nomade. Recently I did a video on those 3 new extracts, but this is a delicious gourmand here. It's amber wood, rum, vanilla, with vanilla absolute, brioche, accord, laurels, orange blossom, benzoin, cistus, and davana. Davana is a note that keeps coming up. I really enjoy this note lately. Not only because it's in 54 by Juicebox, but also the new Boss Bottled Absolute has davana and patchouli. Fantastic note. But the next fragrance, Soradora 7, also got to sample during Petit Fragranza. It's cashmeran, ambroxan, white musk, thyme, myrrh, sandalwood, bergamot, mandarin, vanilla, nutmeg, oud, gaiac wood, patchouli, and cypriol. To me, this was like a musky fougere, but unfortunately, it just was a very faint fragrance. So I was hoping that since the brand has these kind of really intense fragrances, this would be like that. Maybe it hadn't aged or matured in the bottle, and sometimes brands bring out fragrances that they just bottle and it hasn't aged since it's a brand new release. We shall see how it is. I enjoy fougères. The idea of a musky fougère sounds interesting, although it kind of does sound a little bit like MFK's Masculum Pluriel, because it's also, I think, featuring some musky notes as well, but we'll see. Soradora 7, I enjoyed the smell. I wish it was a little bit more potent. And last but not least, Tumi's got a new men's fragrance. It's called Dusk, and this one features notes of violet leaves, musk, vetiver, amber, peppery notes, bergamot, and lemons. Got to sample this one as well during my travels. It wasn't anything exciting like Continuum, but something that I want to circle back to and experience. Violet leaves are, ozonic notes. It's a very masculine leaning fragrance. So let's see how it is when I circle back to it. But that's basically all of the fragrance I'm talking to you about today. There's probably going to be another video like this very soon, as there's a lot dropping, and I haven't done one for 3 to 4 weeks already. So there's just a ton of new releases coming out. But let me know what you're excited about that I've discussed today, or is there something different that I didn't talk about? Put a comment down below. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. Alright, the bonus section are fragrances from the House of All Saints. So I kind of skipped All Saints fragrances, even though I really enjoy their clothing. So they are launching some more intense takes on their fragrances, and so all 3 of them are created by Gabriella Celleru, who does fragrances for KLE. So Shoreditch Leather is patchouli, sandalwood, vetiver, amber, jasmine, leather, saffron, elemi, and rose. If you're a fan of this line, let me know what your thoughts are. Is there something that you really enjoy? I was recently looking of a few fragrances from this house online at discounters. Kind of something kept me from buying, and it's just because I never see their fragrances anywhere. I don't know where to find them. So that's why, you know, sometimes you have to take fragrances, play with, you know, spray them, hold the bottles. You got to get a feel of the fragrances, and I haven't really done that with this house. Where I go buy their clothing, I just never see their fragrances there either. So we'll see. Maybe I'll come across them somewhere. But this next one, Ravaged Rose, it's again Gabriella Celleru, a perfumer. This is featuring notes of amber woods, cedar, musk, damask rose, water lily, ivy, red berries, pink pepper, bergamot, and lemons. This one sounds quite nice. What about you guys? Do you think this one sounds great? These bottles are, I think, kind of round. Originally, I think their bottles were square, weren't they? The bottles are totally different here. And then the last fragrance, I believe this is a intense version of the original. Sunset Ride, I believe, is already a fragrance that exists. This is Sunset Ride Intense. It's leather, cetalox, cedar, orange blossom, amber, musk, jasmine, moss, mandarin leaves, pink pepper, and freesia. This is also Gabriella Celleru. So 3 new fragrances from this house. Hopefully I can get my nose on them. Anybody find these fragrances anywhere? Who sells them? I think Nordstrom sold them at one point, but they got rid of them really quickly, and I hadn't seen them there. And yeah, I never see the fragrances. Maybe I just have to do some blind buys online. If you have a favorite All Saints fragrance, let me know what they are, what it is. Put a comment down below so I can find out. Something that I might like. I like musky notes. I like patchouli, vanilla, things like that. So if there's something that you think is really, really great and stand out from the house, let me know. And if you've gotten your nose on these 3 new fragrances from All Saints, which one sounds the best or smells the best to you guys? Let me know. Put a comment down below, and thanks so much for watching today. Stay tuned for another video soon. Bye-bye.